Today, I'm going to be checking out Vengo. This is an AI-powered chatbot tool that you can embed on your website or your client's website. It learns all about their products and services, and then it can act like a salesperson or a customer service rep. The best part is you can currently get it for a one-time fee. This is that LTD life, and let's check out Vengo. So here is the Vengo deal page over on AppSumo. It would be super amazing if we could truly get a really good, high quality chatbot and only pay for it once. I'm going to go through the entire setup process and we will test out the bot together in this video. You do need to know that this is a sponsored video. AppSumo is my absolute favorite place to buy software for my business. So I was happy when they reached out and asked if I'd like to make a video about Vengo. You should know that I'm going to give you my honest thoughts here. If it's good, I'll tell you that. If I don't like some parts of it, I'll definitely let you know that as well. If you have any questions about whether I'm authentic, definitely go back and watch some of my other reviews because I always tell it like I see it. You might not agree with it, but it's my opinion. So let's get into it. Here is Vengo, currently on AppSumo, starting out at just $69. Now, in terms of the plans and pricing, not a whole lot to look at here. You're looking at tiers 1 and 2 being on their starter plan, and then tiers 3 through 5 being on their pro plan. So basically what this means is we're gonna get white labeling on the pro plan, and we'll also get some additional limits. So you can see here with tier 3, which is what I'm gonna be using to make this video, I've got 2,500 chat minutes per month, 5 AI agents, meaning I could have 5 different bots trained for 5 different websites if I choose. And I can have 10 team members because you can actually log in and interact with things and obviously review the analytics. And then we also have voice minutes. You only get 15 voice minutes per month. So if you need extra, it does say down here, it's going to be 50 cents per additional voice minute. Now, if you're all the way down here on tier 1, you don't even get any voice minutes. So I can only assume this is pretty processor intensive, pretty resource intensive for them to really heavily limit this feature, but I'll be checking it out and letting you know how it works. Okay, so here is the Vengo interface. The most important part is your AI chatbot. So we can actually create a new one right here under Manage AI. I currently have one called Dave Swift, but if I wanted to make a new one, I just click right here and I can start making that new bot. Now, each little tab that you see at the top of the screen here, this is how we're gonna be training our bot to learn about our products and services and know exactly how to respond to our customers. All right, so let's go ahead and just build out a chatbot. I'll go through each one of these tabs and we can see how it works. I'm gonna be filling out the forms here for one of my clients, Enlightened 4D Imaging. They're an elective ultrasound company here in the Twin Cities. So if anybody you know in the Midwest area is looking for an elective ultrasound, you can't beat the quality over at Enlightened 4D Imaging. I'm gonna be grabbing a lot of the information off of their website and then training the chatbot on it. Maybe we could even end up replacing their existing solution, which right now is just a, kind of plain old regular chat. They use Chatro, nothing against that, but you have to actually be logged in. If I wanted some questions answered right now with their old traditional chat, I'd have to wait for the morning till they actually wake up and go to work. All right, so I've not gotten permission to make this chatbot, so I'm gonna leave the email address being my own for now. Of course, I can go back and update that later on. Now, on the next section over here, I actually need to, well, I have to hit next, but then I need to go ahead and upload a photo for the chatbot. So here we go. I've got their logo right here. I'm just gonna drop that in as the face of their AI. And you probably have better results using an actual face, a real person here, so it feels more engaging, or you could use something more robotic so that it was very clear to customers that they're not talking to a real person, because I'm sure it will be evident at some point that it's not a human that they're engaging with. All right, now on the next screen, we are gonna go ahead and select a voice for our AI chatbot. We can choose between male or female, and then here are the languages that are available. Now, this is a local business only in Minnesota in the United States. So I think I'm gonna go with probably a female, I guess, since it's for women who are expecting. So we'll go with female voice, and let's listen to a few of the examples.
Want to find out how I made $100 a day without leaving the house? Click subscribe and I'll show you how.
So that's Chrissy. Here's Cassidy.
I just love talking about movies, TV shows, really anything that's in the arts. So use my voice for those kind of projects.
And Vanessa.
Hi, I'm Vanessa. Let me be the perfect voice for all your social media or meditation.
All right, so I think out of these three, I think Vanessa sounds the best. So I'm gonna choose that one and we'll proceed to the next screen. But before I do that, I'm sure you're curious what some of the males sound like. So let's try those out. Here is Aaron.
Another exciting week for AI.
And Max.
Never delay kissing a pretty girl or opening a bottle of whiskey.
Pretty good advice. Next up, Matthew.
Are you still looking for the right voice? Look no further. Let's make some content together.
So overall, I think the voices are really high quality. They sound good, although it would be more impressive if I generated some text and then it was reading my text so I could be really sure how the AI would interpret it. For now, I'm going to double back and I'm going to grab Vanessa's voice and we'll proceed to the next screen. Okay, so for step 4, it says add your business links. It wants to know all about us so it can start to kind of learn our personality and then interact with customers in that same tonality. So it wants things like a sales meeting you did, a company FAQ, a podcast interview, a blog, a webinar. I don't think you have to, it says you can add or remove links as needed. So if I don't want this one, I shouldn't need to add it. Like there's no sales meetings for ultrasounds. Okay, I added a bunch of URLs here. I left a few of them blank. Let's go ahead and proceed to the next screen. Hopefully it lets me through and doesn't say those are required. Looks like we're gonna be good. It's saving currently. All right, now we're on to the next section, which is to upload your own files. So it says here we can upload sales training manuals, company FAQs, interviews, news articles, video transcripts, and important business documents. The more you add, the more your AI bot will know about your company. Now, kind of a downside here is you can only add 5 documents at a time. You can add as many documents as you want, but you have to do it manually, just 5 at a time over and over again. So if you've got hundreds of documents, that could take quite a while. Now you can use doc, TXT, Excel, and PDF files as the source material. So what I'm actually gonna do is just print their pricing page here and save it as a PDF so that I can try uploading that and see if the bot is able to read the PDF and then understand their different types of appointments and the costs that are associated with them. Actually, the website has about 3 different landing pages I'd like to capture as well. So I'm going to do that same thing here and then upload all 4 PDFs over to the chatbot. Okay, there we go. I've got the last one saved here. Now, of course, I could have just fed these URLs into the chatbot on the previous step, but I really want to try uploading some files and make sure that they're digested as well. Okay, so I've got 4 documents here. I'm just going to drop them in all at once and we'll proceed to the next screen. Hopefully they get uploaded. It says saving here, but never saw the upload happen. Okay, we'll check back on the files and make sure that they were digested correctly. Onward to step 6, which is upload additional resources. Now, this is the place where you can upload all of your URLs in one go. You can download their sample CSV file, open it up in something like Google Sheets, and then maybe grab your sitemap.xml file from your website and just paste all of those URLs in and bulk upload everything on your website. If you want to do it manually, you can do that as well. Just click down here to add a resource. You can give it a title, a URL, and a category. Do this as many times as you like, or not at all. In my case, I'm going to skip this section, but it'd be a great way to get a large website up in a hurry without having to do things, kind of one by one on the website section over here where you're just, pasting in URLs. That could be a little bit tedious. The one feature I'd love to see here is the ability to automatically scrape your website on a schedule. So maybe once per day, it's going to go and check for new blog posts, or it's going to check for changes to the existing content. And that way your bot is always going to be up to date with everything that's going on in your business. That would be a really great idea, but unfortunately, it's just my idea. It doesn't exist here in the app. All right, I don't have any additional resources that I'd like to add, so I'm going to skip ahead to greetings here. And here's just asking for different ways to greet customers. We want to add up to 5 different greetings. In fact, you could add a 6th in or a 7th if you prefer, but it's telling me I need to complete the ones I already have. Now, of course, I could write these greetings myself, but hey, it's 2025 and I've got Claude. So I just uploaded the landing page copy that I made into PDFs earlier, and I asked Claude to write the greetings for me, and it did a really good job here. Now, I don't think it's too much to ask Vengo to actually write these types of greetings for us, and then maybe give us the opportunity to thumbs up or thumbs down the greetings that it provides, and even just make inline corrections to make it a little bit more on brand. Asking me to write something from scratch just feels like a pretty heavy ask for an AI tool. It doesn't even have an AI helper built in here. All right, I've got my greetings added in. Let's proceed to the next screen here, which is all about our services. So on the final screen, screen number 8, it says your business services. And now there's a series of questions asking all about the services that the business provides. I'm actually going to just copy and paste these into Claude and have them write the responses as well. All right, so I've got my answers from Claude. I'm going to go ahead and paste these in here. I've got them on my clipboard, so I'll just paste them all in and we should be good to go. I'm going to hit finish and hopefully we can start using this chatbot very quickly. Jumping back to the file section, I can see now it does show me which files have been uploaded, and you can see some of them were uploaded multiple times. I can go through and delete them. So turns out I just needed to be a little bit more patient. Okay, so we finished training our bot. Now, how do we get it up on our website so we can test it out? Well, you go over here to integration and then choose the bot that you want to load up. So you can see I've got two here, the Dave Swift bot as well as Enlighten bot. I choose this one and then I get a little script. I can simply copy and paste into my website. All right, so I've just pasted the script into the code injection site of my Ghost blog. If you're using WordPress, use whatever kind of code injection, code snippet plugin that you have there and just paste it into the footer. If you've got a regular old HTML website, of course, that'll be very easy. Just put it right before the closing body tag. So everything should be good now. I'm gonna go ahead and save this. I'm not on the client's website, by the way. I'm on my own personal website, daveswift.com. So we can visit the website now, and there we go. We've got our Enlightened chatbot looking pretty good. Now I can style this to match their colors. Let's do that next, but I'm really tempted to want to engage with the chatbot to find out how well it does. All right, so I'm gonna tell it I'd like to schedule a 4D ultrasound, just find out what it does in terms of, giving me a link to go ahead and do that. All right, it's asking me for my name, email address, and phone number. It says that's gonna help ensure a smooth scheduling process. It is very clear to me that this is not a real person, just the speed and accuracy which it's typing, it does not feel very human at all. So I like that. Of course, I called it the Enlightened bot to make it very clear to a customer that it's not a real human. All right, so I'm gonna answer it and we'll find out what it does here. All right, so it's asking me if I'd like to know more about the available packages or if I wanna just go ahead and book. I'll just ask it to tell me more. All right, so it's telling me the different packages they have, the technology that they use, and that they have a board certified obstetrician on site for added safety. So I'm just gonna say, sounds great, let's schedule. Oh, it's kind of getting a loop here. It's asking me if I'd like to know more about the package or if I'd like to schedule. I want to schedule. All right, so it's still stuck in this loop. I don't think it knows the URLs to schedule the appointments because I don't think I provided them. So let me update those and then we'll try it again. But I do need to change the style here. I think right out of the box, the type is really small. I also don't love how it's center aligned. It's a little unnatural for a chatbot. So I'm gonna see how much of that I can actually change. So we've got a few things to do on the back end. So if we go over here to customize, I can choose the chatbot that I want to customize. Here's the Enlighten bot. And you can see I do have some color choices, no font choices, unfortunately. It's definitely too small for me. All right, so I'm gonna update this blue color with, let's say a red color. That's what they're using currently on their website. So let's paste this in. All right, there we go. That is the red color they're currently using. I can also change the message color. I think I'm gonna leave that as is. And the widget color, I'm gonna change that as well. All right, so update that, go right back to my website, reload, and there we go, it is now red. Kind of cool when it's minimized. We have the icon right down here, but that does also tell me a little bit about how I should set the avatar because this is not very inviting in terms of, getting people to even know it's a chat or somebody that they can engage with. Yeah, I'd love the ability to choose an icon for the chat widget, kind of like they have down here for their own chat, and then give the AI a face so that when you engage with the chat, you can see they've got a different avatar here. Looks like they're using their own tool, so I don't know why I can't do that. All right, so they've got a section here with all of their booking links. I'm gonna go ahead and grab these URLs, and then I'm gonna train the chatbot on it so that hopefully the bot's able to do a little better job of closing the deal. All right, so just grabbing all of these links, and then I'll just paste them in one by one here over in the additional resources section. All right, not gonna lie, that took more time than I would liked, but we've got all of the URLs added in. I'm gonna hit save changes. Hopefully the bot is pretty quick to digest this information and we can test it out again. Now, I will give it a moment to update here and show you around the rest of the tool. So there's an analytics section right over here where you can see basically some high-level stuff about what's going on with your chatbot. By default, it's going to show you all of the bots, but you can zero in on a particular one if you want. So here's everything that's going on with the Enlighten bot. 1 total client, 1 sales lead, average chat time 0.21. I think that is minutes. So, I chatted with it for about 0.2 of a minute. And then over here, we've got total chat messages. So there's 14 messages going back and forth. Obviously, as you use the tool for longer, you'd have more and more information available. There's also a line graph down here at the bottom for both client growth and sales growth. So you'll be able to see, when things are peaking and maybe when they're slumping a little bit. I got a few other features to show you before we go back and try out the chatbot again. So we're in the chat history section here where we can actually see all of the chats that have occurred with our bot. So first thing you do is choose the AI bot that you want. Then you have to select a date range. It'd be nice if it just like defaulted to everything in the last week or something, but you do have to go in and actually choose specific dates or you won't see anything here. So I'm saying that not to be critical, but just to let you know that if you go to this section, you're like, hey, the history doesn't work, just make sure you choose a date range. Then once you do this, it's pretty cool. We can actually go in and view the transcript, but wait, there is more. When you get the transcript, not only can you see exactly how the chatbot is interacting with your leads, you can actually go in and you can correct it so that if anyone else ever asks a similar question again, you can tell the chatbot how you'd like it to respond. So if anyone says, sounds great, let's schedule, maybe I want to make sure I just direct them right over to the online scheduling tool. Okay, so here is my suggestion. It's to tell them we have online scheduling and then direct them to the scheduling link. Now, if I wanted to, I could actually just speak in my answer, but for now, I'm just gonna type it. So that's kind of cool. It's got some built-in dictation right inside of the web app. For now, we'll skip that and just submit the answer. And there we go. It says sent successfully. So now if I say I want to schedule, hopefully it directs me to that link. Okay, so that's chat history, but there's also sales leads. So if a lead has been identified, remember it asked me for my name, my phone number, and my email address. Well, that's going to actually show up inside of the application as well. I do want to point out that the app is a little bit sluggish. You saw the loading screen there as I was talking. I'm not cutting that out. It definitely could be a little bit snappier when we're just switching between different screens. So from history to leads, see that time it loads. It's almost like it has to get it built up into cache. But anyway, you can see here, I do have the one lead saved. It's not sorted on this screen by bot. It says the bot name over here, but like I can't say only show me Enlighten bot leads, which would be really nice, especially if you're using this tool for clients. I mean, I guess technically it does have a search field up here, so you could search for the name of the bot and then only those chats would show up. But you know, everything else has a selector, so I think they should just add this into this screen. I can download these leads. So if I want to download it, it will download as a Excel file. And here's what it looks like when I open it up in preview. So it's going to have the date, the name, the email, as well as a phone number. Currently, no integrations with CRMs or automation platforms like Zapier. That would definitely be an intelligent next step for this platform. So far, I'm fairly impressed with Vengo. I think the AI experience was really good. The styling, I think, needs to be tweaked a little bit, but I mean, that's a few lines of CSS. No big deal there. And I also want to show you the team section over here. This is where you can add in your additional users. Definitely check with the AppSumo plans to make sure you get the one that's right for your size company. But essentially, you assign a name, an email address. You have to give them a password, which I think is a little bit unusual. Obviously, they'd be able to log in and change that password, I assume. But it'd be nicer if it was just done through like email, like, hey, you've been invited to join this team. But then you do have role-based permissions here. So we can set access to manage AI, analytics, chat history, sales leads, integrations, billing, and team. What is missing from the role-based permissions is specific bots. So if you wanted to give clients access, you couldn't necessarily say, okay, you can only see the Enlighten bot, but you can't see the Dave Swift bot. That would certainly be a welcome feature for agencies wanting to offer this to their clients. Everything else in the tool is kind of ready to go for that. You just wouldn't be able to grant access to your clients to work on the tool itself. You'd have to kind of do everything for them in terms of viewing the chat history, assuming you're, building out a different bot for each client that you have all under one account. The simple solution here is just to buy multiple accounts for each client. That's probably what they want you to do, honestly. Okay, so those are all the features of Vengo. I'm gonna go ahead and chat with the bot a little bit more and see if it knows those booking links and maybe just ask a few more questions about the products and services to make sure it really understands what it's talking about. So let's start with a simple question like, when is the best time to schedule an ultrasound? All right, it gave me a pretty good answer here. It's certainly accurate to the training data. I'm fairly happy with how it looks, although they didn't capitalize the first letter up here, but everything else sounds pretty good. I'm gonna ask a few more questions. All right, so I'm gonna ask, can I bring my parents with us? And it says, yes, I can. They're encouraging me to have family involved. I'm gonna ask, do they have any place to sit? All right, it says I can bring up to 5 guests, and then it asks me if I have any other questions. So far, this is really, really accurate, and the responses are very, very fast. I'm gonna ask if I can use my insurance. And it gave the right answer. It's not covered by health insurance. So it really learned a lot about this business very quickly. Now, the one key thing, can I schedule an appointment online? All right, so it says it does have the link and it just gives me the regular old URL. So a little bit of a fail there. I would have loved to link directly to those booking pages. Now, when you're setting up your bot, remember that very first info screen, you actually have to add in a calendar link. So I'm gonna go ahead and customize this to be the booking page, and hopefully the bot is updated then. I do want to point out that you can also switch between a sales and lead generation agent to an informative and an educational agent if you're not trying to sell anything directly. You want something more like customer support. You could do that as well. We're going to leave it on sales and lead generation. We'll save these changes and try it one last time to make sure that it's probably just was pulling in the primary website link and I needed to have indicated the calendar link. But I did train it on all of those other individual booking pages, so I would have hoped it knew where to go. All right, let's try it one last time. I want to schedule an appointment online and then this video is over. This time it did update, so that calendar link was the ticket. Oh, one more thing I almost forgot. Those voice minutes, what were those all about? We saw them on the plans and pricing. We chose a voice for our AI. How do we talk to it? Well, notice there is a voice icon up here, or a speaker icon and a microphone icon. I will enable both of those, and I'm gonna give Chrome permission to actually use my mic. And now let's try this thing out. I'm talking to the bot. Let's see if it can actually hear me. The mic is lighting up. So I'm interested in scheduling an ultrasound appointment. I'm not sure which kind to get. Could you guide me through the process?
I'd be happy to guide you through the ultrasound options we offer.
Could you tell me more about them? Okay, so I heard the AI bots momentarily there, but then it defaulted back to just text. So that overall was a little bit underwhelming. All right, so that is Vengo. I think this is a great fit for small businesses that want to get an AI chatbot up on their website. Maybe they're constrained by budget and maybe technical know-how is also a limitation. Vengo is very easy to get up and running with all of your custom information about your business. Where it kind of lacks strength right now is definitely in crawling your website. I think most of the training should be done by just giving it access to your website. It should be able to find the sitemap and just read all of the pages for you. And those greetings and things like that, that could be crafted based on the information it pulls off of your sales pages, your landing pages, so on and so forth. Everything else felt pretty good about it, other than, the voice chat, very underwhelming. And then the styling of the bot itself definitely needs some improvement, but that is something that I think should be fixed pretty easily. Overall, Vengo gets a 6.7 from me. It's off to a great start, just a few tweaks, and this could be a really killer deal. If you've enjoyed this video, make sure you click that like button, hit subscribe if you're new around here, use my link in the description to help support the channel, drop me a comment if you have any questions or just for the algorithm. Thank you for watching. My name is Dave, and I'll see you in the next review.